got over the disappointment, Josh, initially of that World Cup?
Yeah, I was disappointed, obviously. I think you put everything into the build-up to the World Cup, and you know, obviously disappointed. But yeah, I've got over it now, and you know, if they need me, I'm still here on standby.
Yeah, is that they told you? Is it?
I've had confirmation I'm on standby, so if needed, I'm ready.
Does it make it even harder when Warren says, "Oh, it was a toss-up between yourself and Andy for the spot," and you were that close, as it were?
Yeah, you know, it was obviously, you know, he didn't do anything wrong in that final game against Argentina, and I'd only played 20 minutes against England, so you know, and you know, I think to build yourself up for an England game is a little bit different to Argentina. It's the old enemy. You want to play well no matter what. So you know, I suppose he took his opportunity, and you know, he took it well. Yeah.
I mean, if you benefited from, I suppose you must have, from those Poland camps and everything else, because all the boys have spoken about how much those two camps have really helped them in terms of their conditioning.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel a lot fitter this season than I ever have, and you know, physically as well, strength-wise, gone through the roof. You know, I'm finding that on the pitch as well. You know, a lot stronger in the contact area, and a lot more physical carrying as well.
Yeah. So the first couple of games, how do you feel it started?
Yeah, the Aroni game was always going to be a tough test for us. You know, they haven't had a win. They only had one win in the league in the last 2 seasons. So you know, they're looking for that. They're looking for that win. You know, they push the Ospreys close. Every time they played them, you know, there's going to be one team who's going to fall up against them, and you know, it's not going to be long either. And obviously, Connacht, everyone's disappointed about that performance because the one that got away really. And, you know, those are the teams you've got to be beating if you want to win this league. Yeah.
And bar's been set quite high this year, I'm assuming, in terms of where you want to go. I mean, you just missed out on the playoffs last season.
Oh, of course, you know, we just missed out last season, and I think you know, if you look at our squad at the moment, we're only missing our back line, so we've pretty much got a first choice pack out there, and you know, I don't think there's many teams in the league who can say that either. And if the pack can set the platform for the backs, I think, you know, we won't put them in a good place really. So you know, it's just about maintaining that while those the core of our team are away. I'd say, you know, I think the team who can cope the best with their internationals away will probably end up being in the top 4 of this league.
Does that mean you've got to change the Scarlet style in a way, in the fact that you've seen so many of your strike runners?
Oh no, I think, you know, you look at some of these youngsters. You know, Andrew Fleming's not a youngster, but he played a lot of rugby before his injury last season. Lee Williams has been around a long time. Daniel's played a lot of rugby last year. So, and you look at Aled, Thomas, Roger Gomez-Davis. They've all played high levels rugby. So you know, there's a lot of you know, capabilities in the back line. So you know, I don't think we're taking away from it. It's about getting that mixture right.
And the back row as well, quite a young back row, but obviously, you know, it's an exciting combination there, isn't it, with the three of you?
Yeah, I wouldn't just rule out just the three of us. There's obviously Jonathan Edwards and Richie Pugh both pushing hard, and even the boys, you know, I've been impressed with the boys who've come in over the summer, you know, Kieran Murphy and Craig Price, you know, they've both done well, you know, they've both put themselves about in training, and you know, that's why we went. It's competition for places. It pushes each other a little bit further.
So much change then, Josh, because you were the ones pushing not so long ago, the boys in the jersey, and all of a sudden now you're looking behind you a little bit.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of players in the squad and you know, it's, I think, but that's a good thing, you know, makes you all work harder for your position. You don't want things given to you on a plate really. You know, that you get a bit complacent, I think.
Munster, obviously the record against them hasn't been great over the last few years, so tough test to go out there.
Yeah, we've lost the previous games against them, but I think if you look at the performances, you know, they haven't been a million miles away from a win, you know, especially last year out there, and you know, we're a little bit unlucky when we played them here as well. You know, we just didn't turn up, and obviously that's something we've got to get right as a young group of players.
When you play Munster, is the breakdown the key area?
I think when you play any Irish team at the moment, you know, they're all physical in that contact area, especially out wide. You know, they benefit from turnovers out wide, but we've got to be strong out there. You know, they'll fight for everything, and you know, Munster are probably the form team are doing that in Ireland and in the league.
They're still the team to beat in this league.
Yeah, definitely, just because of who they are, what they've won. They've got probably one of the best records in Heineken as well, along with Leinster, so they're one of the teams to beat.
Yeah. And the fact they're in your Heineken group, does that make any difference?
Yeah, a little bit. You obviously want to see what they're all about, but you want to get that win, and then you want to take that forward to the Heineken Cup games as well.
Yeah. Obviously, because the personnel will change a lot, I'm assuming by the time those games come around.
Yeah, it's not just their personnel change. We'll have a lot of players back as well, and but they've got a wealth of experience in there. Yeah. Obviously, we've got quite a young pack, but I think the learning was done last season, and it's time for us to step up now. Yeah. A lot of times last year was always it's a learning curve, but this year it's not about that now. We've been established players for a while now, and it's about setting our stall out, getting out there and doing a job. Yeah,
it's not about being a young team anymore then, is that the case?
No. It's, I think we've played enough games with each other to understand what's going on, and I think the maturity has got to show through now.
Yeah. Just reflecting on that game, and obviously you had a great start against Ironi. A little bit of a step back there last weekend.
It was definitely a game that we felt we should have won. We had a great amount of possession, and it was just crucially our errors that let us down.
It's a shame, really, because at this stage of the season there's not much to choose between many of the sides, I suppose, in this division.
I still think that a lot of the sides have got quality players. I mean, that would be taken away from them, but it's definitely the time in the season that we want to. The same with any year really is we want to do well, get off on the right foot, and it's disappointing that we didn't quite do that. We've been in a close game there, and we really should have come out on top.
Yeah. How about you personally now, Ben? I mean, you had a great season last year, awards at the end of the season and everything. Do you feel like almost not a marked man this year, but in terms of a bit more pressure on you this season?
I don't know. Obviously, last season I was fresh coming on, so people hadn't really seen me. But perhaps I am more marked, but that doesn't really concern me. I mean, I'm looking forward to the challenge, really. Yeah. It's
a nice balance in that back row now, isn't it, with Josh and Rob at the moment, and a lot of players challenging for positions as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a really competitive time. Obviously, every person that's coming in now has got an opportunity to show what they can do, and if they do well, then there's a good chance that they're going to stay in the squad. So
What about the challenge of Munster? Obviously they're on a great run at the moment at the end of last year, and they've started well again.
Yeah, I mean, Munster are always a strong side, and going out there is always tough, but in history we've always been tight with them, and I think last year we really should have won it. But this season I definitely think we're going to compete out there. We've got the desire for it, and a lot of hunger because new people coming in. So it's a really good team environment.
You played in that defeat out there last year, and it was only your first games, was that?
Only 2 or 3 games into that. Really enjoyed it.
And you play for the club side out there as well, didn't you, in Munster?
A couple of weeks previous, Munster A, and we beat them. No, it was good, and a few of the players from that Munster A side have gone into the Munster squad.
So you'd probably be one of the few players with a bit of experience about beating Munster.
They're just a physical unit, really, and well drilled. And I think as a forward pack, we're going to have to step up and boss that really, and let the backs do what they can do.
Is there a little bit of extra pressure on the forwards in terms of so many players missing? Lots been said about the full back division missing this year, and a bit more pressure on the forwards to deliver, as it were.
I think not more pressure, but just we want to stay tight as a whole team, really. We're just trying to work for each other, and the more we can do that, I think that the better the results are going to be.